Eddie, welcome back, sir. Thanks for joining me again. So the last time we had a lesson, it was about, what, 3 or 4 days ago? And during that time, what kind of golf have you played or practiced?
Played about 2 rounds.
Two rounds.
Just kind of looking at different shot shapes and what I'm going to be seeing out there on the course and trying to figure out how to hit them.
How'd you play?
I played pretty good the first round. Second round was a little more shaky. First round, I didn't have any misses with my irons or anything. Driver was feeling good. But I just noticed that I'm lacking in 100 yards and in when it comes to getting on the green. So.
Okay, so you noticed kind of the shorter shots were giving you trouble. When you're having your full irons in, like any long iron, 987, 6.5, was your trajectory staying pretty consistent? Were you hitting the ball high?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Nice to hear. Missing left to right, how was that?
Surprisingly, that day I didn't really miss left at all. It was more
Nice.
kind of like, if anything, it was barely right of where I was aiming.
Okay, so like I guess your mentality of aim, you're looking at the pin. Are you trying to aim more right of the pin when you're playing, or are you kind of on it? Or
I'm more on it than usual, but it just depends on if there's wind or.
Yeah,
anything.
you're taking other things into account to play that. Well, that's good. So it sounds overall like your ball is flying higher. The ball flight is neutral. It's not drawing or cutting too much or fading too much. That's great. I guess, so your trouble shots were anything 100 yards and in. What specific yardages do you remember where you had
60, around 65, and then like 55. Like those two are pretty tough because like it's right in the middle of like a 30-yard shot and an 80-yard shot. I feel like I can do a 31 and an 80-yard shot pretty good, and then once it gets in that middle range, I start to lose it a little more.
Yeah. What do you think is holding you back from executing those shots?
Just
is it confidence, or is it kind of a mechanical thing?
A little bit of confidence, yeah. When I stand over that ball, I'm not thinking that I'm going to put this within 6 feet. I'm thinking, wow, this is...
What's going to go wrong?
Yeah, what's going to go wrong with this shot, because usually it does.
Yeah,
so.
Okay. Your miss, are they usually like chunks or like thins, or just kind of miss?
Just miss, I guess, like miss yardage. Like, I hit the ball good, except I was hitting it 30 yards short of where it should be. And I picked it clean and everything. Maybe I'm afraid to put a little more oomph into it and afraid what's going to happen chunking or.
Right. So ultimately you're thinking like if you could control your distance a little bit better, you'd be better off, obviously, because you're hitting the green in less shots in that case. Okay. Well, that's going to be interesting to see. I'd love to get you out on the course one day and talk to you about management and stuff like that, because I seem to think that when you're hitting these shorter shots, it's not always necessarily about hitting the number exactly on the dot, but it's more so thinking about like what range can I hit the shot in, and that way you don't have to be perfect. If you got a front pin and the front of the green is 90 yards, but the back of the green's 120, well, that means 100 through 115 is like green light.
It's open,
right? You don't really need to think about hitting a club that's any shorter than 100 yards, and maybe nothing longer than 125, because then you're dead that way. That way, I think. So my question to you is, when you have these shots that are whatever, the 30 to 70 yards, are you giving it 100%, or are you like decelling to try to catch up with that, or like what's your tempo like?
It's pretty smooth. If anything, maybe I'll decel a little bit. I'm trying not to, because I know that can cause some problems. So that's why I'm trying to pick a smooth tempo and just try to go with that.
Got it. Right, just consistent, right? This speed, right? It's the same back and through. Okay, got it. All right. Well, today, do you have anything specific that you kind of want to keep focusing on? Is it that kind of 60 to 90 yard distance that you want to work on?
A little bit of that, and then getting into maybe some of the longer clubs, seeing how they kind of affect.
Translate. Yeah, kind of similar to our first lesson, building off of that. Okay. Well, how about this? We'll see how your mechanics are doing with the shorter distance shots. Because I know that when we worked on our last lesson and the lesson before, there was a break in your left arm where it was causing that left pull. So we'll start with a short shot, like 60 to 80 yards, which will be perfect with the cradle. We'll keep that on for those shots, and then we'll actually try to hop off of the cradle for a few of those shots, and then go into your longer clubs, have the cradle, then hop off the cradle for the